Jump in my 6'4" and let the top dine. Trunk hitting hard when I swing through H-time. Cup full of oil and an orange kush sweet. Cause this is how we do it in that 713. My candy red paint cocked up on foe. Shocking and body rocking cause the south side ho. DJ Screw got me falling asleep. This is how we do it in that 713.
Welcome to Sports with Balls. Here are your hosts, Jeff Michael, Lauren Leal, and Grant Miles.
Yeah, we're missing one.
Yeah, missing Lauren Leal.
Lauren, what's up? No, Lauren's not with us tonight because she is doing the Rockets game, apparently.
Yeah, she got better shit to do.
And I guess the Rockets are currently, I did not know this because don't really keep up with basketball until late second half of the season, but are playing your Dallas Mavericks.
That's right, man. Mavericks are struggling right now, man. I'm not liking what I'm seeing from the Mavericks.
I think
they're not playing well.
You know, we're not going to talk about much NBA. By the way, thank you guys for paying attention to Sports with Balls. Welcome to the show. We are missing Lauren Leal, but myself, Grant Miles.
But stay here, though.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
A lot of y'all leave because Lauren's
Don't go anywhere.
Lauren's not here. That's sad.
We should put like a cardboard cutout over right here.
We should, like
so everybody can still look at
Corona
her.
Lauren.
Yeah.
We'll have her right here.
All right.
And we do have Johnny J, and he's got a microphone tonight.
Yeah, Johnny's got a mic, man. I'm stoked. So you'll hear from Johnny J tonight.
Yeah,
lucky,
here we go.
Lucky
so,
for you folks.
Welcome into Sports with Balls. A little bit of the NBA. Curry had 61 last night. You see that?
62, yeah.
62?
62. I think it's most in his career. Yeah.
A lot of people were talking shit, man.
Yeah, I don't get the hate for Steph Curry. I can understand a little bit. He's kind of changed basketball. I mean, that dude has changed the way basketball's played. Across the board, NBA, college, high school.
A lot of people
school
they
guys.
want him to be back the old guy and scoring 40, 50 a game. That's just not the case. But, yeah, Rockets and Mavs are playing tonight. Be interesting to see that. We're sitting up here at Chris's Tailgate, y'all, 5114 Kirby. Man, this food, I already ordered some. Y'all come up here and get their hamburgers, their chicken fried steak, this gravy. Woo! Not that I need to be eating that right now.
That burger's good, man. I had that burger for the first time a couple weeks ago.
It's on point.
It's fantastic.
Kimberly Horns basketball beat Kansas and Lawrence. Yes, they did.
Oh, they destroyed Kansas.
They killed them.
I watched that game.
Did you watch the whole thing? Yeah.
Texas can't. I didn't even recognize Kansas. That Texas team. If that Texas team
they're good.
Ends up continuing to play the rest of the year, they could do some damage in the tournament.
They're not bad at all. They're not bad at all. But, yeah, so welcome into Sports with Balls, man. Look us up on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch.
I don't know.
Golly, dude, there's so many. We have our podcast out. Look us up. Just say Sports with Balls to your Alexa, your Echo. Sports with Balls on any of your podcasts. We're Podbean, we're SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Pandora, YouTube. Anyways, we're everywhere. Just type in Sports with Balls, and we're there. But
you know a lot more of that shit than I do, man. I don't know that much
because I got to do it all. I tell you what, I'll hand it all to you, and you'll figure it out real quick.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a lot to do.
True.
But yeah, me and Grant are going to entertain you guys for the next hour, and we're going to talk some sports. So there was a lot that went on. So let's get into it, man. Let's talk about what's hot. Brought to you by Joe Applewhite and Applewhite Realty, 713-291-5270. Joe Applewhite and Applewhite Realty and Mr. Kroger, I guess.
Yeah, dude.
You know, with his picture.
It looks like, and plus when I was looking on Facebook, man, it looks like you guys are skiing buddies.
Oh, yeah, we do. Man, I do not want to get into that story of that trip,
Johnny, can you imagine the stories that we would hear if we sat here and talked about that skiing trip?
I mean, it's
yeah, see, exactly. He won't even give us a little teaser.
Well, I mean, Joe even posted online after I posted a picture of us. I think that was 2014, 2016.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, we don't want to get into how, because his now wife, Somali, ended up flying in for that trip as well. And I got left out, but Joe was like,
so I'm assuming they weren't married at that time?
No, they weren't.
Okay. Oh, wow.
It was interesting. Joe's supposed to be watching. If Joe's watching, yeah, don't put anything up right now, Joe.
Yeah, come on, Joe. Make it more entertaining.
Y'all working on a new podcast, brother? Yes, we are. Rudy, yes, we are. Also, Kevin Anthony, what's up? He said, what's up, dudes? Happy
What
New
up,
Year.
Kevin?
Thank you, Kevin, for paying attention.
Yeah, Kevin's getting into the show, man. Kevin's always talking to me about it. He's liking it. Yeah, Kevin's a good guy.
Y'all pay attention even though Lauren's not here, man.
Yeah,
I
that's
get
right.
it. I totally get it. I'll try to be as good of a Lauren Leal as I possibly can, I guess.
You have to try really, really
What's up,
hard,
Justin,
bro.
Teresa? All right, let's get into what's hot. Speaking of the Longhorns football. Texans Longhorns hired new head coach. Man, this was quick. Steve Sarkisian Man, you are – I love the Longhorns, but you're more of a Longhorn faithful and more in depth with them. So what do you think about this hire? What's going on? And the article that you just read.
Well, I tell you this. I could talk about this hire and Texas program for the hour that we're here.
Yes,
but I'm not
Jennifer,
do that.
we're at Christian's Tailgate on Kirby.
But I'm not going to do that. But so obviously, if you're going to fire somebody like Tom Herman, you better have your relief pitcher right available. Like, I don't think that's going to be especially with recruiting, with all these different things going on. I don't think you fire Tom Herman and then go search. I think you already got somebody in line.
Well, remember they had, what's his name coming to the games.
Yeah.
Watching. This was already, in my opinion, already in the works.
Oh yeah, it was. Urban Meyer didn't come through, which I was rooting for Urban Meyer, but it didn't happen. But I understand. I think it was time for Tom Herman to go. He'd been there 4 years. He had a full recruiting class, freshman to senior, and they did not perform to his expectations. One of the things that he hung his hat on whenever he got that job is he said, "I'm going to keep Texas players in Texas."
Yeah, recruiting.
And he didn't do that.
No.
You've got two of the most highly coveted offensive linemen, the Brockemeyer brothers, in Texas that are alum, that are legacies, and they end up going to Alabama this year. They end up signing with Alabama. Then you've got the situation that they had with the quarterback from South Lake Carroll. That's the top-rated quarterback for 2022. He backed out of his committed to Ohio State. And then, of course, you have, like I just told you, I was reading this. According to this, Texas players were negatively recruiting against Tom Herman. And if the players that are in your program are trying to sabotage the program they're a part of, that doesn't speak very well of your leadership in terms of the Longhorns.
Yeah, I just wonder what happened to him over the last couple years, because when he came in, it was.
I was all for it.
Everybody was excited.
I was all for it.
Everybody was stoked to have him in there.
We're talking about Kevin. Kevin's an LSU fan. He was going to go to LSU, and then LSU, he backed out because he went to the Longhorns. And I was like, oh man, we got to steal. We got Tom Herman. And I mean,
well, let's hope that Sarkisian. Hopefully his recruiting skills are better than Herman's,
Well, and that's the thing. Herman recruited well for the first 3 years. He didn't have a great class this past year. The problem was development. He just wasn't developing good players in the draft. Guys weren't going high in the draft. And as a college player, you come in, what do you want to do? You want to get drafted.
You want to go to the NFL.
You want to make money. And if you're not getting drafted and you don't have a history of that, that's bothersome for kids coming in. Yep. So, when you're 32-18 at Texas, you go to 4 bowl games, granted, but Big 12 championships, just one. You don't win a Big 12 championship at all. That's not good enough.
Yeah, and then the whole "we're back."
That boy. And Sam Ehlinger, he was
great, and he should have been better.
He was quoted as saying he regretted saying that.
Well, I mean, look, if they would have only lost 1 game this year, maybe 2. Maybe things would have been different, but I think the last 3 years have been bad for UT, and hopefully Steve does a better job.
And I'm not necessarily sold that Sarkisian's the answer. I mean, I thought Tom was the answer, and that didn't work out. So I'm cautiously optimistic.
Wow, yes. That's Grant Miles on UT. We'll move on to.
I could keep going, but I know we got a lot of time.
We've got a show to do,
and.
We could talk about this forever. I'm a UT fan, but we'll move on to one of my favorite players ever in the NFL, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I only brought this up in What's Hot is because I love him. Grant, I did not say he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Johnny.
I didn't say that. I just think he's amazing.
Johnny's at every show, pretty much. Johnny, did he say he's going to Hall of Fame or he's a Hall of Famer?
No,
pretty much.
Yes, you did.
I did not say that.
And so when you said that, it got my radar up, and I was like, hold on just a second. The dude has a 59-86 career record. Just laying that out there.
I think he's I forgot his passing. Where he ranks.
In his career, he's 60%. He's thrown for 34,977 yards. That's a lot, but no.
I love Ryan Fitzpatrick. He did incredible things with Tua. I'm going to miss his outfits and, his love for the game. Ryan Fitzpatrick was an awesome player. In my comment, I said, if there was a way to fit him in the Hall of Fame, if there was a backup quarterback that could have made the Hall of Fame, Ryan Fitzpatrick was the guy. I think that's what I said.
Yeah, if they had a section of the Hall of Fame that was for backup quarterbacks that had a losing record, yes, he would be the perfect one for that section of the Hall of Fame. You're right.
Fine.
I agree.
Moving on.
I'm done.
Moving
with
on.
Ryan
More college football. If any of y'all saw this past weekend, Alabama, Ohio State are gonna kick off the final on this coming up Monday, a week from today. Man, Alabama destroyed Notre Dame 31-14. It didn't even look that close, honestly. And even in a worse destroy was Ohio State and Clemson.
I didn't see that coming.
Woo! That was a beatdown.
Well, and what was funny was Dabo Swinney for Clemson, head coach for Clemson. He had to answer some beef because, the coaches do a coaches poll, and
they were number 11.
He had Ohio State number 11.
Number 11. That was terrible.
He had to answer for that.
My question to you is because Ohio State beat Clemson 49-14, and man, that kid Justin Fields looked amazing.
Yeah.
And then of course all the memes throwing up everywhere about how Justin Fields should go before Lawrence in the draft. I don't think so. But do you think Justin Fields or Lawrence? Who are you taking?
My number one pick, hands down, Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
I think so too.
Yeah, I got in a discussion with a guy on Facebook that's a friend of mine from high school, and that's what he was talking about, Justin Fields number one.
Yep.
And my point to him was, did you know that – so in that game, they lost, but did you know that Trevor Lawrence threw for 400 yards? He had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was like almost 70% as far as his completion percentage goes.
Man, Clemson, like the bombs that Ohio State was throwing.
Ohio State played terrific.
Man.
Justin Fields was terrific. But those games that Justin Fields had against Clemson, Trevor Lawrence had about 3 or 4 of those this season.
I agree. I'd take Trevor Lawrence, Sunshine, as I like to call him,
Yeah.
All day long. Yeah, Justin Fields had an amazing day.
Did
his draft stock rise? 100%.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Is he better than Trevor Lawrence?
No.
I don't
Trevor
think so.
Lawrence is my number one pick.
Vicky's.
Hands down.
Hello, Miss Leal. She's watching, even without
Oh,
Lauren.
Vicky's. Oh,
What's up, Vic?
hey. What's up, Miss Leal?
Miss Leo's Lottie's watching. I appreciate it. My buddy Leonardo Falchetti, man. Love Leo. Man, a bunch of y'all. My buddy Scott Ferguson. Back in high school, speaking of guys I know. Kevin Anthony says, just how awkward was the awards acceptance speech from Devontae Smith? He's a badass receiver, but his voice still hasn't come in yet. Awkward. Damn, Kevin.
Damn. Give the guy a break there, Kevin. That
Yeah.
guy's going to be could be the Heisman Trophy winner.
Speaking of the game this on Monday, Alabama, Ohio State, we will get into more of this next week, or next show on Thursday, and
Yeah.
Lauren will be back on Thursday. For all you guys missing Lauren,
Yes.
she'll be back.
She'll be back.
Man, the spread. Alabama -20. I'm taking Ohio State.
I know.
with the
That
points, dude.
makes me nervous doing something like that.
For right now, I would take, and I hate betting against Alabama. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't want to bet against Alabama, but I'm going to take Ohio State plus 20 if you're going to give me 20 points.
Yeah, if you're going to – that's – for a championship game, it's almost really disrespectful to Ohio State. I mean, granted, Alabama's played 12 games this year. Ohio State's played 7. So, and
Alabama does look unbeatable. Like they're just.
Well, that's why I said
unbeatable.
I said that before the playoffs were announced. Is that like I think it's Alabama's to lose. Like I mean, everybody's chasing Alabama. If they lose, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, I agree.
If they lose, I'll be shocked.
Next one. Let's see. Next up, we got Josh Jacobs. This guy, genius move, man. Josh Jacobs got arrested at 4:30 in the morning in Vegas at a DWI after a single car accident, which I guess he got drunk and wrecked his car.
Well, I'll say this. First off, is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay,
He got treated at the hospital. They released him. He got booked for a DUI, and he is arguing. He's saying he's not guilty. 4:30 in the morning in Las Vegas, and you wreck your car. You're not guilty.
Well, let me say this. I'm shocked that it took till week 17 for an NFL player to get in trouble for something in Vegas.
Right?
Like this
yeah. True. That's a good point because they moved to Vegas. Yeah.
Correct.
Well, social distancing, COVID-19. I don't know if the
sure
bars.
that,
I haven't been to Vegas.
I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
Oh, I got a puppy dog on my foot.
I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. But yeah, I'm shocked that it took 17 weeks for the NFL to have a player get in trouble in Vegas. Like that's shocking to me. So
Yeah, great guys, job or great job.
I'm proud of you guys. Good job.
Many Red Bulls.
Good job, NFL players.
On the way here, speaking of Vegas, on the way here, that's it for What's Hot, by the way. We're about to get into some NFL stuff, I believe.
That was hot. Thank you. Johnny, don't you think?
Johnny, you got a sizzle button?
Yeah.
There was a dude I heard on the radio on the way here. This guy got drunk in Vegas, gets on his computer, and legally changes his name to Celine Dion, right? He has no clue. Gets a piece of mail in his mailbox and gets it, and he legally changed his name on an online website to Celine Dion. This is a dude.
Wow.
I don't know if it was a bet, but man, for all you guys that won your fantasy football league, congratulations. For those of you who lost, that's a good way to treat your loser. Tell them to change their name.
Ooh, that would be brutal, dude.
That is, I mean, you want to talk about not wanting to lose. Lauren being deep shit.
Yeah, no.
Lauren did lose bad.
Yeah, she lost every week. She was out after week 2.
She said
she was done.
It was like A+. I guess she did. She got the best.
She was proud of that mock draft. She got an A+.
She was killing it.
It wasn't A+ after that.
All right, before we go on, we got a couple people we want to thank too. One being Hybrid Technologies with Roy Stanton. When it comes to reliability, we are the ones you need. Phones, cable services, surveillance cameras, and cloud services. Any one of those, you can contact Roy Stanton at 832-336-1201. Roy is a good friend. Mention Sports with Balls. He's going to hook you up.
I still don't have construction concepts memorized, so I'm going to read it.
I didn't have that one memorized. Did I do okay? I didn't.
Yeah, you did good.
That's usually Lawrence.
Yeah, no, you did great.
Yeah, baby.
We do want to thank Construction Concepts, Josh and Mark. Mark's birthday, right? Today?
Oh, today is Mark's birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday. Happy 43rd to Mr. Boardman. I'm sure they're out eating dinner somewhere.
Probably. Happy birthday, Mark. Josh and Mark at Construction Concepts are changing corporate culture one design at a time. From hospitality, corporate, luxury retail, and medical facilities, their team of experts can update or create a space that exceeds your expectations. Call them at 713-589-2682. That's buildathouston.com.
Yeah. Hey, Ashley, how are you? Ashley's watching.
Hey, Ashley, how are you?
She liked your little comment under the picture where you were like,
Oh.
Y'all got to follow us, man. Follow us on Facebook, Sports with Balls, on Instagram, Sports with Balls, anywhere, man. Just type it in. We're there. For those of y'all that are not paying attention to our live video feed, follow us on all the other platforms for your podcasting. Every one of them we're on. So get in there if you can. So let's get into some NFL, some stuff that happened over the weekend, and there was a lot. There was a lot. We'll try to break down a little bit of it. Let's go ahead with the firings. Jags, Jets, Chargers, Texans, Lions, Falcons. Those are all open jobs. And as far as I know, Eric Bieniemy went to 3 of them today or did virtual calls. Not one of them was the Texans.
So let me ask you this. Out of the ones that you've said, go over them all, not as quick, just say them again.
Jags, Jets, Chargers, Texans, Lions, Falcons.
Which one of those is the best job?
Oh, wow. Jags and Jets are going to be 1 and 2 in draft. Texans.
You think Texans are the best job?
Yeah, Matt Ryan in Atlanta is aging. Texans or Chargers. I love the Chargers are going to have to hire a head coach that's smart because this dude, Herbert, is amazing and he's a genius. The knock is in Oregon with him was the coaches couldn't keep up with him. That's the reason he didn't put up those numbers.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Numbers. They didn't challenge him mentally.
Yeah, he's a offensive minded. Like I think
it was like a 4.0 college
student. Something in biology.
Yeah.
So Herbert's going to be amazing. You just have to be offensive minded. Would Eric Bieniemy, somebody like that, fit in there? Probably not. You have to hire an offensive coordinator that challenges him. I would say Texans even the Lions with Matt Stafford. He's older too. Texans or Chargers? What about you?
I would go with the Chargers. I know people would tend to say Jacksonville just strictly because they have the number 1 pick and you have Trevor Lawrence coming out. My only thing about that, I think Trevor Lawrence is as close to an automatic as it's going to get in the draft as far as the QB position. Yep. But there's still that shot that you don't know.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, according to his first season, seems to be legit.
I agree.
And I think San Diego is already ready-made with talent on the squad. I think they just need a good leader. I think they need a good coach.
Good defense.
They need a good coach. They need somebody that could come in and make a difference. I mean, think about how many games the Chargers lost this year in the
were
last
close,
part of the game.
Yeah, like one possession games. I'd have to look it up, but it was close on a lot. And look, Herbert broke all sorts of rookie records.
Yes.
Kid was amazing. But I would rather have Deshaun Watson and what Cooks has done at the end of the season now. And I don't know what they're going to do with the running back situation, but I think the Texans are close. I don't know about J.J. Watt. I have no idea if he's going to stay with the Texans, if they're going to try to maybe get rid of some of that You had mentioned this before. The Texans are what on the cap? Fifth.
Now, that's as far as total, $211 million, was it? And I'm talking total numbers in everything from active players to dead cap. That's including for all allocations, including active players, dead cap, and reserve list. They are at $211 million this past year.
Jesus. I mean, I don't know how much getting rid of Watt would save them, and I don't know if they're going to get rid of Watt. I have no idea. I don't know how close the Texans are to the playoffs, though. Somebody mentioned that this morning. Are the Texans a playoff team next year with a different head coach? I don't know, man. They're offensive-wise, they do great. Now, what I like to call a lot of dead numbers, there is, because Watson, we were playing from behind a lot, right? So
Yes.
Watson was throwing a ton of yards like Dak was at the beginning of the year, which you made fun of me for. So, yeah, I mean, the Texans, I love that job because of Watson and the receivers, but, I don't know, without a defense and without a couple of cornerbacks, are they playoff ready? I don't know. The Chargers could be as well. They're sort of in the same position, I think.
But you also have such a problem with the ownership of the Houston Texans.
Massive.
So as a coach, why would you want to come into a situation where your ownership is the way that it is?
It's interesting. I mean, you bring up a good point. I mean, you're going to do an interview. Is Cal McNair the guy you want to go work for?
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing.
I have no idea.
But to your point about J.J. Watt counted $15.5 million against the cap this year. Next year, it goes up to $17.5.
That's a lot.
That's the question. Do you want to pay J.J. Watt $17.5 million?
Trade him, get another or actually, if you're going to trade J.J. Watt, I would get some defensive backs. Or, at least Bill O'Brien's not handling this situation because Miami now has the third pick in the draft. Like, unbelievable.
Yep.
Like, I mean,
You're a 10-win tean and you get a number 3 pick.
Yeah, I know. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think, won 4 or 5 of those games. Maybe more.
Well, it was good because his winning record ain't that great, so I needed to add to it.
Oh man!
But yeah, I would go Chargers. I would go Chargers as the best job available. But of course, you hear the rumors that Urban Meyer supposedly is a favorite for the Jacksonville Jaguars job.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, so we'll go into the next thing. Is Carson Wentz wants to be traded, but his contract is huge. What do one of those teams take on Carson Wentz?
Well, Jacksonville, of course, got that. Which teams are you talking about?
No, either the Jags, Jets. Well, I mean, look. So the Jets.
I guess the Jets could.
Or the Lions or Falcons. Look, he's an older. The Wentz might work out for the Lions or Falcons.
Well, what I hear is that he's talking Colts, and the only reason he's talking Colts is because the head coach is Frank Reich, who was, when they went to the Super Bowl, their offensive coordinator. So, and you got Phillip Rivers there. Phillip Rivers
is out.
He's done. So yeah, I mean, you're going to have an opportunity there for Carson Wentz because Indianapolis is a good team, and I think sometimes Phillip Rivers, for as good as he plays, I think sometimes he also affects the team negatively. And you put a guy like Carson Wentz, maybe he feels more comfortable with Frank Reich. Maybe that's a place that he can go. New York Jets, I think New York Jets are going to go young. I think they're going to probably draft somebody like Fields.
Actually, the Colts, that's a good fit for him. Now, I don't know as far as cap space and taking on that huge contract if they could fit him in, but I'm sure they can work out anything. That would work out. And another one is Cam Newton. Is out of New England. He's one and done over there. In my opinion, I think Cam Newton's toast.
You think he's done?
I think he's toast. Like, I try to see him. Man, his arm is terrible. It's flat. I mean, it's just, it has no zip on it. I mean, Tom Brady has more zip on the ball.
Yeah, we've talked about it before in other shows, and I admit I was wrong. This is.
Oh, yes. We have a button for this?
Yes.
An I was wrong Grant button? Because this is rare.
This is. I normally
rare.
I normally have this conversation with my wife, but I was wrong. Nice. I was wrong. I thought Cam Newton, after the first couple weeks of the season, I was like, okay, Cam Newton, he's with a good coach, with a good program. He's going to play well. Yep. And, man, you talk about a dude. COVID.
Busted.
Destroyed Cam Newton.
No, it was even the season before. He had shoulder surgery.
But he was hurt, though.
But he said, remember the videos of him at the beginning of the year working out? You know, like getting back. Oh, I'm back. I'm back. And everybody's like,
he
New
needs a new
England's going to
marketing
be
team.
amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, he was trash.
He wasn't. And what's funny, it's just so funny year to year, season to season, how up and down you can view somebody. And, like Josh McDaniels, I'll give you an example. Josh McDaniels, after the season last year, he was a high commodity as far as a head coach. Like, you were like, Josh McDaniels going to be a head coach in the league. You don't even hear his name now anymore because he had Cam Newton, and you see what they did on offense. So it'll be interesting to see what Cam does. I don't think he's done 100%. I think he does go somewhere, maybe to back up or whatever.
Yeah, but again, backup, is he going to be a backup? I don't know. I don't know. Whatever happened to Jameis Winston? Where did he go this year? He disappeared.
Jameis was on the Saints, wasn't he?
I know, but they had issues. Like, you could have traded him. Like, Jameis had all his interceptions last year is because he threw 50 times a game. Whatever.
Yeah.
His yardage was unbelievable. But, I mean, Jameis.
He led the league in touchdowns and interceptions last year.
Oh, God. That sounds like Brett Favre.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
That's some Favre stuff.
Yeah, But, yeah, I think and to answer your question, next year Carson Wentz will count $34 million against the cap.
Whoo! That is just unbelievable.
Get this.
That's like 1/3 of your
dead cap.
That's huge.
If the Eagles were to just cut him, they'd just say, you know what, we're out, we're going to cut him. He would count $59 million against their cap.
Oh, my.
Carson Wentz.
He's might as well keep him.
Carson
and we're
Wentz,
gonna get into that. Hey, we're gonna get into that Philly Redskins game here in a minute, y'all. So stay tuned for that.
Johnny loved that.
Yeah, can't wait for
Johnny. Loved that shit.
Yeah. We're gonna get into, speaking of the Texans Titans game, which was it was a great game.
It was a good game.
It was a really, really entertaining game. Derrick Henry rushed for over 2,000 yards this season, and he had to do it with 221 yards coming into that game. Texans. The Houston Texans have never allowed 200-yard rusher to 3 straight games, and they did.
Congratulations.
And not only that, it was like 240 yards per game. Man, what a defense.
Congratulations to the Texans for that accomplishment. That's fantastic.
I mean, first of all, we'll get into the MVP conversation later. Derrick Henry, though, watching him against the Texans, and I get it, Texans are terrible. You know it's coming. You know the ball's going to Derrick Henry. You know, and that you just can't stop this guy.
No.
I mean, it's a train, man.
Well, I heard I can save it for when we start talking about the MVP. But I heard some good things as far as some good comparisons as to why Henry should be a candidate for MVP and be a strong candidate. So just so you know, so everybody knows, he ended up this season 2,027 yards. That put him 5th amongst all NFL rushers in the history of the NFL as far as yards rushed per season. You have Eric Dickerson, who's the top dog, 2,100. Adrian Peterson, 2nd. Jamal Lewis, 3rd. Barry
Adrian
Sanders.
Peterson with how many in 2nd? He missed it by 2 or 3 yards?
Adrian Peterson missed it by 8 yards.
8 yards?
Yeah. Adrian Peterson, Jamal Lewis, 3rd from Baltimore. Barry Sanders was 4th with 2,053. And then you got Derrick Henry, 2,027 yards.
Hell of a year. And, I mean, dude, he had to play Indianapolis twice, who's incredible. He played some rough defenses. It wasn't like he was out there it wasn't like the beginning of the Pittsburgh Steelers season where just nobody's.
Well, and what's crazy, I heard this today, the gap. So if you do over the last 18 weeks, I think it's even longer than that, he's rushed from this season to last season, he's rushed for 3,300 yards. The next closest person to him in that time frame, Dalvin Cook, 1,600.
Insane.
Like, that's how big a gap you're talking between him and the next of it.
I like Tennessee. Guy. I like Tennessee a lot, but
that defense played terrible.
Yeah, that's the problem with them is they cannot stop anybody. You know, and running Henry so much eats up clock, so it's very hard. They stay in a lot of really close games.
Yeah.
So and their defense gives up a ton. So as far as playoffs are concerned, when it comes up this coming up week, and we'll talk about that on Thursday. So you guys make sure you pay attention Thursday. The playoffs are going to be interesting. We'll get into it a little bit. But,
yeah, we'll go into the games.
Titans-Texans game was very, very entertaining. Texans thought they had it won. Titans had 18 seconds, man. And they just threw up a Hail Mary, got 48 yards on it.
That was a great throw by Tannehill.
It was. I mean, he just bombed it out there. And then what's his name? Picked it. Davis, Corey Davis, grabbed it and boom, kick a field goal, win the game. To like Texans, man. The Texans is there this year for them. Has just been. And
I heard this too. Who kind of screwed it up? Derrick Henry, I think, could have had. Imagine if that game had gone to overtime. Derrick Henry would probably have the record. He'd probably have the record in the season.
He could have,
but the kicker screwed it up.
The kicker screwed it up
by winning it. Yeah.
Speaking of the Browns and Steelers, Browns make the playoffs. Steelers look like shit. What did you think about the Browns' chances in the playoffs and the Steelers' chances in the playoffs?
I think I saw it earlier. I think it's going to be Pittsburgh -4. I'd be all over Pittsburgh in that game.
Yeah, they're playing. For those of y'all that don't know, they're replaying this game.
Correct.
This coming up weekend.
And this time Pittsburgh will have all their players. They did not have all their players, and it was a pretty close game. So now you've got Pittsburgh right now at least favored -4. I'd be all over that. I think Pittsburgh wins it easily.
The Browns are, I don't know, just because they play. This is such a rivalry, and they play such a close game. Throw out regular season stuff. This game's going to be very interesting. We'll see how Baker Mayfield plays. This will be very. Yeah. Isn't this his first playoff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see how Mayfield does his first year in the playoffs.
Well, and it would be interesting to see how Mayfield plays. But I just, if they continue, see, that's the thing about Cleveland. Cleveland has the game plan. They can run the football to win in the playoffs.
Yes. It's
and if Baker, the thing is,
stay under 50 passes, Baker.
If Baker doesn't screw it up, that's all. That would be my Kevin Stefanski. That should be your game plan. You pull Baker Mayfield aside and go, "We'll run the football. Just don't mess it up.
Run.
Just don't mess it up.
Chubb and Hunt as much as you can, and because Pittsburgh has no run game, right? You know they're going to throw the ball. Make Roethlisberger throw it 50 times. You have a shot of winning that game.
Yes.
Next
and it comes down to who do you trust? You trust Stefanski or Mike Tomlin? I'll take Mike
Tomlin. And the next up, New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be fun. I don't even know if I want to talk about this game. We might as well have Johnny and you talk about this. Okay, I'll get into Andy Dalton afterwards. But okay, Dallas Cowboys. What's your end thought on the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, 6-10. Like, that's all you have to say. 6-10 sucks. And, that's what, just to let everybody know. Of course, Johnny, I don't even think the game was done. The game wasn't even over with, and I get a text from Johnny talking about everybody have a good weekend. Because for those that don't know, Johnny J is a Giants fan. So he was already, talking mess whenever the game hadn't even ended yet.
Oh, I saw it on our mass text messages.
But I was like, dude, it was 6-10. Like, if you want to, and he sent me like a dance emoji of somebody dance. I was like, dude, you can dance for 6-10. I'm cool with that. I'm not dancing for 6-10, but you can. That's fine. The Giants haven't won the NFC East. The last time they won the NFC East, 2011.
Johnny, I hope you brought your homework, man. Did you bring some stuff to?
Oh, you mean is that the same year that they won the Super Bowl?
I don't know. Why are you asking us? You should know. You're a Giants fan.
Of course they did. And I think they were the 6th seed. I think.
Yeah,
they were
probably.
Yeah. They were. Yeah. That's okay because they finished second. They finished second in the division.
That's great. They haven't been
over
competitive.
The Cowboys.
So they haven't been competitive in 10 years. That's awesome. Congratulations.
And your team has been competitive in 25 years.
They were 6-10. 6-10.
Dak's the savior, though. Dak is the savior.
But no, it was a good game. I mean, if you like that, to watch bad football, it was. You had. I mean. I can't even believe.
You can see and hear the frustration when he talks about
this.
Can't you? I mean, because you're different when you talk. Like, we could sit here for an hour and you could go off. Dude.
I could. Absolutely.
You better hope the Mavericks win tonight. God damn.
Well, right now they are by 10, so there you go.
Yeah, Rockets have scored 2 points 4 minutes into the game.
Yeah, but I'm just glad the season's over with. I'm just glad it's done. Yeah. It's like the dog that you have that you just, the dog that 2 legs aren't working, they're just dragging themselves around. Eventually, at some point, you just got to get it over with and just put them down.
I will say,
that's what happened.
Earlier you said that you were wrong on something, and I got to say that I was wrong on this. I thought Andy Dalton would come in and help the Cowboys win at least to 8-8. Andy Dalton was terrible.
He chose the worst time to play his worst game.
It was, he's from TCU, from the
Katy.
From Katy here in Houston, Texas boy. Like, I thought for sure he'd come in. He's got, man, when they picked up what's his name out of the draft,
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, I was like, woo, weapons. You have Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. They looked primed to, man, you could just play flag football out there.
Correct.
And you could get some numbers, right?
Correct.
So I thought at least Andy Dalton would do something, but I don't know if it was just a dysfunction with the defense or with the whole organization, but man, the Cowboys just turned their shoulder and said, "Screw it, I'm done."
Well, defense was terrible, but Andy Dalton threw the ball 47 times and completed it 29.
Ouch.
243 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception.
Hold on, not even 300 yards and threw
47 times.
47 times.
His QB rating was 66.20. And what's crazy about that is he probably had, Johnny knows because he was watching it, he probably had, New York Giants probably dropped 3 interceptions. Like they had the ball thrown to them like 3 times that they dropped. He could have easily had 4.
What's up, Austin? What's up, my boy Gabriel? Yeah, man, they're on here going nuts about and Vincent. Vincent says Winston and Cam Newton were both system quarterbacks and didn't work out in the current system. But, Dalton, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if it was uncomfortable or just never on the same page with his wide receivers. But, yeah, the Cowboys just tanked. And
but I'll tell you what was great, and John even sent it, the meme about Jason Garrett ruining the Cowboys' playoff chances yet again.
Yet another year, Jason Garrett ruins the Cowboys' playoff chances.
Of course it happens that way.
I mean, and guys, can you just give the Giants defense some credit?
Yeah, Giants' defense was good this year.
I mean, they've played
that front
last
line
half
was,
of the year.
Now, granted,
come up.
the Cowboys had their 3rd-string offensive line playing. So, yeah, I mean, I was hoping. And they have a guy that has no business playing in the NFL on their right tackle who they let all alone out there with Leonard Williams, which didn't make any sense to me. But, yeah, I mean, they did really good against the Cowboys' 3rd-string line. Yes, they did really well.
You can hear the angst in his voice when he says that.
But their defense was good.
Let's stay in the division and go to this Washington and Philadelphia game.
This was Johnny's favorite game.
Wow.
Doug Peterson is trash.
Dude, okay, so Twitter blew up. Twitter went nuts, and social media in general went nuts over the end of this game. Jalen Hurts being pulled for the 3rd-string quarterback. They're only down by 6 in a meaningful game, huge game. And I've never really seen somebody intentionally throw an NFL game until I saw this game.
Yeah.
This was an intentional move. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if it comes from, the owners up top. I don't know if they had a meeting prior to the game and said, listen, if we get down to the end, because what's their draft pick if they lose?
Well, their draft pick right now as it sits is they're 6th.
They're 6th because they lost.
Correct.
And if they win, they go to the playoffs.
Well, this will give you an idea. So they're 6th right now. If they had won that game, then they are probably in the – well, it really kind of depended on how
they would have made the playoffs, I think, if they won.
Yes. So they would have been at let's see. Well, I mean, you're going to be 19 or below because that's where Washington is right now, 19.
Yeah, so you go – I mean –
Well, no. I'm sorry. Philadelphia is not going to make the playoffs at all. They weren't. Yeah, they were already out of it.
But their winning would knock them down to 20.
They would have probably been in the 13 to 18 range, somewhere in there.
Do you throw the game?
Well, here's my problem with Peterson. I'm okay with him doing what he did. I'm just not okay with him saying that they were trying to win the football game.
Oh, afterwards?
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean,
you weren't, dude.
Yeah, but you can't say that you're not. You got to say something.
Just don't say that.
But the interview was, for those of y'all, this guy did throw the football game, and it was very obvious. And he said something to the effect of, I thought that he deserved reps.
Yeah, that was weird.
Okay, in practice, that's fine to say, but when you're only down by 6 in an NFL football game in the 4th quarter,
right.
I think Jalen Hurts only had 78 yards passing at the time.
Yeah, he wasn't playing well.
But he was getting first downs.
But he was your best option to win the football game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And they pulled him for a guy that he had thought deserved some reps. No, bro.
Yeah, that's an unrestricted free agent next year. As like that would be lucky if he made it on an NFL team. Yeah. But I had the problem with him saying he was trying to win a football game. Like, I'm okay with you admitting, not saying that you were coming in trying to lose the game, but you don't even have to bring that up. You don't even have to say that.
Yeah, he should have worded his press conference should have been a little different for sure.
Well, I heard Trent Dilfer today. Trent Dilfer, his opinion of it is he thinks somebody upstairs told him to do that.
That's what I think.
That wasn't
maybe
his call.
Prior to the game, or maybe at halftime saying, "Hey, look, let's go for a top 10 pick."
Yeah.
So.
And it worked. They got number 6.
Got number 6.
It doesn't matter. He got his extension anyway.
Yeah, this is a huge draft.
Yeah,
this
it's a
draft
huge
is
draft.
huge, man. Offensive linemen, defensive backs, quarterback. There's like 5 separate quarterbacks that are amazing. So, are they going to go after a quarterback? Probably not. I think Jalen Hurts. Carson Wentz wants out. Jalen Hurts is obviously, I don't know if he's. You don't draft a quarterback though, right? I mean, you have Jalen Hurts in there.
I don't know why you would. That'd be a waste of a pick. They have a lot more. I'm not a Philadelphia guy because I have a brain. But I don't think that
Cowboys. Damn.
I don't think that they have a lot more problems beyond just that.
Let's go with this. Since you just said that, Cowboys next year, playoffs or no playoffs?
Oh man, you tell me that. Ask me that right now. I mean,
their season's over. You got Dak coming back. Playoffs or no playoffs for Cowboys?
I mean, I would say playoffs.
No.
This is kind of what they do. This is what they do. They go.
Okay, Johnny. Giants. Playoffs or no playoffs?
Playoffs.
Damn,
they're
you
gonna have
answered that
Saquon
way
back?
too quick.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now.
You answered that way too
Daniel
quick.
Jones does look good. Saquon back.
Daniel Jones looks good? Really?
Well, I mean, better.
Better than what?
Saquon can help out. Saquon can help. Somebody asked me this the other day, like the best running back, Christian McCaffrey, in the whole league, Dalvin Cook, Henry, who was it? Saquon, and I said Henry because, man, the play action that you can run off of Derrick Henry is unbelievable. Like Tannehill ran in the winning touchdown yesterday because of the play action to Henry.
Yeah.
Just everybody, whenever you fake the handoff to him, you have to go that direction.
Yeah, Saquon will make a huge difference. Yeah, no doubt.
So, I mean, I'm a huge Cowboy fan. No playoffs.
But just think about this, though. Daniel Jones threw for 229 yards. Dalton threw for 243. Dalton threw the ball 47 times. Jones threw the ball 25.
Dude, Dalton, man, I don't know what happened to him. Dude.
That's terrible, dude.
Yeah, that's why I was like, hold on, he didn't even hit 300, and he threw 47
times, dude.
God damn, dude, I think I could go in there and do that. I sent y'all, but did you read my articles?
I got it. I just kind of glanced, so I didn't see it
really?
too much. Yeah.
Oh man, because I was like, I got to send this because I think y'all think I'm full of shit sometimes. So I was like, here, I'm gonna send my high school articles.
I don't think that. I don't think you're full of shit. Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, it's good to be full of shit when you're on air. Why not?
Yep.
MVP race. Speaking of Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, offensive player of the year, I think Devontae Adams. Because it's a little different than MVP.
Yeah.
MVP race, in my opinion, it's just a few people. Josh Allen made a huge case yesterday. But Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. Do you disagree? Is there somebody else you'd throw in there?
Well, no, I think, unfortunately, for other guys that play in the league, I mean, for the most part, MVP is a quarterback award. It just is.
Yeah, it kind of is.
I mean,
that's why it's weird they have MVP and then Offensive Player of the Year.
Correct.
I guess MVP meaning that maybe one of these days a defensive player will win, but that hadn't happened since.
Right.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, I think, according to Vegas at least, you have your favorite currently is Aaron Rodgers. And then second is Pat Mahomes. Third is Josh Allen. And fourth is actually Devontae Adams. I'm surprised Derrick Henry is not higher than that. But what I heard today, which is, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to win it. I think just because that's how the NFL is and that's how it goes. My thing about it, though, is it's kind of what I heard today. Derrick Henry's doing things that not a lot of running backs in the history of NFL have done this season. Aaron Rodgers.
There's only, what, 4?
Yeah, 4 guys that have done better than him in the history of the league.
In the history.
Aaron Rodgers is having a season, great season, fantastic, but he's having a season like a lot of really good quarterbacks have.
Yep.
And that's my thing about Derrick Henry is where would the Tennessee Titans be without Derrick Henry?
Terrible.
They would be. I don't think Tannehill would be very good.
Tannehill would have Deshaun Watson numbers, who, by the way, has the most yardage of any quarterback this year, which insane. I mean, a lot of junk yards, but that's my junk yards. That's my thing about that is the gap between him and the next guy is so large. Since we both put it is a quarterback award if there's quarterbacks that are doing well, Aaron Rodgers wins it. But Offensive Player of the Year, Devontae Adams or Derrick Henry, that's different. Like, maybe I would put Derrick Henry as Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. I don't think that's any consolation to him, but
no.
But yeah, it's just funny how, and it's just like the Heisman too. You know, the Heisman's pretty much a quarterback award. The MVP is a quarterback award. I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah, if there's a quarterback doing well,
that's how it's going to be.
I think Aaron Rodgers, if he didn't have Devontae Adams and was doing this, I think it'd be a little bit better. But Pat Mahomes, why is Pat Mahomes up there, dude? They've played terrible.
just because he's Pat Mahomes and because he's won it before. He's a Super Bowl winner, former Super Bowl MVP.
They do not look. I mean,
they don't look good at all.
It's all about going hot into the playoffs. Right now, the hottest teams, number one would be Baltimore. I think is the hottest team going to the playoffs. Number two would be Buffalo.
Right.
I mean, those two teams, I would not want to play them right now.
Well, my thing about Derrick Henry compared to like Patrick Mahomes and the other guys are, I think to be like an MVP, like you have to be tops amongst not only your peer group, but tops among the rest of the league. Like Patrick Mahomes doesn't lead the league, like you said, Deshaun Watson did in passing yards. Aaron Rodgers is 7th. Passing TDs, Aaron Rodgers leads with 48. But the difference between Derrick Henry and the rest of the league when it comes to rushing yards
is ridiculous.
500 yards.
That's insane. That's 5 games, maybe 6 for some people.
Correct. 2,027. The next one is Dalvin Cook, 1,557. He's got the most rushing TDs. He's got the most rushing attempts. I mean,
yeah, if Rodgers had the most the most passing yards, most passing TDs, and the best record, then that's Pat Mahomes last year.
Correct.
Hands down.
Yep, 100%.
You win.
Absolutely.
But he doesn't. He just has the touchdowns, which is 48, like you said. And I don't know. It's a toss-up. I don't know why they don't have Derrick Henry higher than that, but
yeah, I thought that was surprising to me.
MVP-wise, it's Aaron Rodgers or Derrick Henry.
Yes.
That's my two. And Offensive Player of the Year, Devontae Adams or Derrick Henry. And if he gets shafted on both of them, like, that's good. Watch out for Tennessee. If he gets shafted, watch out for Tennessee because he's going to be pissed and he's going to start running over people.
Yes. Yeah, I would not like to play Tennessee if that happens.
All right, man, that's going to wrap up our NFL, guys, for today because we can sit here and go on and on and on. We're going to talk about Saturday and Sunday's games. There's 2 triple headers this Saturday and Sunday, 6 games total. Coming up this Thursday, we're going to talk about that when Lauren Leal will join us again. She's off for tonight doing some stuff, broadcasting for Houston Rockets. So good for her, man. Good for her. Grant, you got some history for us?
Man, I got all kinds of history, bro.
With Tosin.
But I want to thank Tosin, man. Texas AV Productions, they are responsible for this segment. Texas AV Productions is your event partner for all things live production, setup, designing, installation, corporate events, concerts, and touring support. If you mention SWB, you will receive a free consultation plus 10% off your total bill, which is pretty significant. Call them at 281-241-7520. Check them out online at txavpro.com. They got 20 years of experience doing stuff like that, throwing concerts and all kinds of stuff. I've seen their things they do, man. It's legit.
Go to it. Go to online and check out his stuff.
txavpro.com. Today's January 4th, for those of you that don't know. 2020
Happy
is
birthday
over.
again, Mark Borbin. Yeah, dude, I forgot to tell everybody
2020 is over.
2020 is over. 2021, this is our first show. This is our first show in 2021, and it's number 65.
Yeah, dude.
Woo!
We're coming up on our year.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. Johnny, let's go on vacation.
Yeah, Johnny, pay for that.
Yeah, pay for that. Johnny, let's go on vacation. You pay for it.
Yeah, we show up, and he's like, so what's going on? Be like, I don't know, dude. You're paying for it. So
yeah, we got bags packed. We're ready to go.
You tell me what's going on.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I think the Rockets and Mavs played back-to-back, but Mavs are up 25-14.
25-14, yes, there. January 4th is today, 2021. We got a lot of days left in this year, so enjoy it. January 4th, 1920, the first black baseball league was formed and organized, the National Negro Baseball League. Nice. And that's big, just significant because of what they said recently about MLB taking in their records, correct?
Yes, sir.
Which changes a lot. A lot of good players came from that league. January 4th, 1975, did you know the New Orleans Jazz set a then record in the NBA with the 24-second shot clock by scoring only 20 points in the first half? Now, I'll bring this up just because of the things we've talked about, the NBA and their points that are being scored in first halves. It's crazy. It's off the charts, dude.
The NBA is whack right now.
It's crazy, but they scored 20 points in the first half. Get this, though. They ended up scoring 89 in that game.
Wow, so,
they lost
69 points in the second half.
They lost, but yeah.
That's a first quarter for any NBA team now.
Yeah, but it's not the current record. The current record is 19 points, which was set by the Clippers versus the LA Lakers in 1999.
I wish you would have let me guess something like I think I would have came pretty close.
Yeah.
I would have said Milwaukee, though. I think I would have said Milwaukee or the New Orleans Jazz.
Well, just remember how bad the Clips were back then.
Yeah, they were pretty bad.
January 4th, 1984. Did you know Adrian Dantley tied Wilt Chamberlain's NBA record for the most free throws made in a game That dude was 28 of 29 from the free throw line.
Damn, how many points did he end up with?
I don't know, but can you imagine that doing 30 on one game just off the free throw pretty much?
Yeah, I can.
January 4th, 1986. Did you know L.A. Rams running back, and I can bring this up, it's fine. L.A. Rams running back Eric Dickerson scored twice, and he rushed for an NFL postseason record 248 yards in a 20-0 victory over the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Divisional Playoff in Anaheim, California. It's still the record.
I was just thinking about that. How many? 200 what?
248.
So 248 playoff record. Tennessee Titans play the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday. I don't know if he's going to rush for 240 on Baltimore, but if they make it past that game, he could easily rush that against Pittsburgh or Cleveland.
Oh, for sure.
And especially if he gets shafted on. Well, they'll release that afterwards, but yeah. I think Derrick Henry's going to be on a mission.
Yeah, and it's still the record. But Mostert, I think last year got pretty close to that record.
Yeah, Mostert was dope.
January 4th, 2000. You think this changed the NFL landscape when this happened? Did you know a day after accepting the head coaching position with the New York Jets, Bill Belichick resigned and took the New England Patriots job?
Yep, I remember that.
I think that's worked out.
If you've watched that 30 for 30 Bill versus Bill on Bill, whatever, it's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
It's flat out. I mean, those two dudes hated each other, and he's married or his son's married. Like they're family members now because through marriage. Like it's awkward, but it's a great 30 for 30 on ESPN.
January 4th, 2000. A great day for me. Great day for me.
It's got to be a Cowboys.
American businessman and investor Mark Cuban purchased a majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks NBA franchise for $285 million.
Damn.
From H. Ross Perot Jr. And the rest is history.
Ross Perot?
Yep, Ross Perot. You remember that?
Yeah, Ross Perot.
I got a couple more here. January 4th, 2001, Washington Wizards forward Michael Jordan became the fourth player in NBA history to score 30,000 career points. He had a free throw in the second quarter of an 89-83 win against his old team, the Chicago Bulls.
Jordan.
One of the greatest. And then I'll bring this up just because we're talking college football playoff. January 4th, 1999. Did you know the college football first BCS national championship was played? Do you remember who won it?
I'm going to say, oh, man.
I'll give you a hint. It was an SEC team. 1999.
Not South Carolina.
The other UT.
University of Tennessee?
Yep. University of Tennessee beat number 2 Florida State 23-16.
Nice. Man, remember when Florida State, Tennessee, Florida, Tim Tebow days, like when they used to be amazing, man. That was unbelievable to watch those teams. There was like 7, 8, maybe 9 teams.
Oh, most definitely.
That were just, I mean, they were just unbelievable. Now you look forward to like maybe 4 games a year.
Right.
Yes. And it used to be you look forward to 15 games a year. The rivalry week was unbelievable. Memphis versus Ole Miss. Alabama versus anybody in the SEC. Yeah. But like UT and Texas A&M, those things are all gone.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And then, of course, the last one, January 4th, 2006, one of the greatest nights of my entire life.
Oh, God.
The 8th BCS National Championship, number 2 Texas Longhorns beat number 1 USC 41-38 at the Rose Bowl.
Golly,
Vince Young running the football in. One of the greatest nights of my life.
I'll never forget that, man. I remember exactly where I was, what I did afterwards, everything, man. I think everybody here in Houston or in at least the state of Texas knows exactly where they were when that happened, because in the third quarter it did not look good.
I remember I told my wife.
I mean, with 5 minutes to go in the fourth, it didn't look good.
I was sitting on the couch with my wife, and I was just going, why can't my teams ever win anything?
Yeah, they were getting – it was getting bad. And Reggie Bush – listen, Lindell White should have ran that ball.
Yes.
All they needed was 1 yard, and that game would have been over.
Yep.
And they should have handed it to Lindell White. Yep. They gave it to Reggie Bush. I don't know why, because he's smaller and
Texas had no business winning that game. They didn't get that 1 yard. Texas had no business winning that game. That was like USC. Weren't they going for like 2 or 3 in a row at that time?
USC was on.
I think they're going for 3 in a row.
And Reggie Bush was hands down the best college player.
He was a Heisman Trophy winner that year.
Unbelievable.
He was a Heisman Trophy winner that year.
He was phenomenal, and he was destroying us that game.
Yes.
But they just needed that one play, and they
VY.
Yep. I don't know why. I have no idea. Linda, if you watch the replay of that, obviously ESPN and a bunch of it has Lindell White on the sideline like, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing?
It was a great game.
Here? Yeah.
I mean, it was a great game because the Longhorns won, but it was just a great game just because of how the game was.
Vincent said Vince Young was a system QB. I said that every QB that we brought up, he's like, system quarterback.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I get it, Vincent. I do. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are system quarterbacks, but
I hope
when it comes to the NFL,
I hope Steve Sarkisian gets a system quarterback and wins a championship.
Well, when it comes to the NFL, like, you have to fit in the system. Like, you can't be a quarterback you were in college and try to go into the NFL. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. A head coach and a quarterback have to be on the same page. Bill Belichick's system worked with Tom Brady. You know, Tom Brady and him just gelled together. There's a bunch of things like that. Troy Aikman wasn't really a system quarterback. He kind of fit in anywhere, actually.
Yeah.
You know, he had 3 or 4 different coaches that he worked very well with. But, you know, a lot of these quarterbacks don't make it. Patrick Mahomes wouldn't be who he is if he was playing for the New York Jets.
Right.
You know, it'd be completely different.
Yeah,
But,
to your point, system quarterback, like that's a word that's played out.
yeah, I agree. So Vincent Young, system quarterback, I don't know.
System quarterback where?
Yeah. I mean, at Tennessee, I don't think he was a system quarterback. He had a couple of good years.
He had a couple of years. He admits he just wasn't serious about football.
Yeah, he was partying.
That's why it didn't work. That didn't work. Why it didn't work
5
out.
minutes left. I want to go over these games with you real quick. As of right now, New Orleans Saints versus Chicago Bears. These are the NFC games. New Orleans Saints versus Chicago Bears. Opening line right now is -8.5. Saints -8.5 over under 48. What do you think?
Just off top, I would take New Orleans Saints in that.
-8.5.
Yes.
Yeah. Although Chicago's been playing well lately, congratulations on them making the playoffs with their quarterback stuff all year.
Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks, Los Angeles Rams. Seahawks -4.5.
Seahawks.
Yeah, Rams are playing like shit right now.
Yeah. They may not even have golf.
The Washington football team 7-9 versus the Tampa Bay Bucks. Versus Tampa Bay Bucks. Bucks only -7.5. That's strange.
Man, you know what? I'd take Washington with the points.
They've played better football lately.
Washington's got a great defensive line, man. And Tom Brady does not like guys in his face.
That's interesting, 7.5, but Bucks -7.5, over under 46.5. All right, let's move on to the AFC. Buffalo Bills, Indianapolis Colts, Bills -6.5. Whoa. I'm going to save mine for Thursday.
Yeah. See what the weather's
What
like.
the weather's going to be like. Bills -6.5. What do you think?
Off top, I would probably say Bills.
Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns is a repeat of yesterday's game. Steelers -3.5. We already said earlier.
Steelers.
Yeah, you think
I'd
Steelers.
be all over that.
And Tennessee Titans and Baltimore Ravens. Ravens -4.5.
Man, giving Tennessee 4.5 points. Woo. Baltimore's playing really well, though. So
They are playing good.
yeah. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to check back in with us on Thursday's show.
Check with us on Thursday for our updated version of those lines. The buys for this week are Green Bay Packers and Kansas City's Chiefs. They will be sitting at home watching this stuff. But, man, great show. Sorry for Lauren Leal not being here. I want to thank Joe Applewhite, Applewhite Realty, 713-291-5270 for all your real estate needs. Call Joe. He's your man.
And we also want to thank Construction Concepts, Mark and Josh, those guys, Construction Concepts, buildithouston.com. Check them out. And then Tosin, txavpro.com. You want to throw a party, they'll throw a hell of a party for you.
I can't wait. We're gonna maybe we'll get with him for 100.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, Tosin to throw us a big one for
I'm
100.
down for
that. Vicky, thanks for the good show. I appreciate that for you watching us and not your daughter. That's awesome. We'll make sure that we tell her that.
We won't tell her that you said this one was better.
Yeah.
This is great without her.
Thank you, Hybrid Technologies. Roy Stanton, when it comes to reliability, we're the ones you need. Go check them out. Hybrid Technologies Group, 832-336-1201. I appreciate you, Roy, and everything. And also, Christian's Tailgate, where we are right now. I'm about to get my food. I cannot wait.
I'm going to get a burger.
You're going to get a burger? Johnny, you get food?
Johnny always gets food, man. Johnny eats every time we come up here.
Johnny's grubbing.
Johnny
Of course.
Johnny eats while he's working.
Oh, you're not going to believe this. Breaking news, y'all. Listen before we let go.
What?
Chargers requested an interview with Giants offensive coordinator Jason Garrett for their vacant head coaching job.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. We're going to end it on that. Listen, thank all of y'all for watching with Sports with Balls, man. We'll be back on Thursday evening at 6:30 with Lauren Leal, and got something special for you guys. We'll go over the NFL and college football. So, yeah, we'll see you guys Thursday night. For Jeff Michael, Grant Miles, and Johnny J. And Lauren
Johnny
Leal's not
J.
here. This is Sports with Balls. We out.
Peace out, everybody.
Southside ho, DJ Screw got me falling asleep. This is how we do it in that 713.